players on that team. So I'll be able to maybe, ooh, let's see. Can I copy this link? There we go. Come on, don't do this to me. But no, this is my first match casting of this season for the NACL. But we have the picks coming in hot right now. Samuel first ban. Taka, obviously Taka is very popular ban as well. I don't know if Taka's that powerful, but everyone does still like to ban Taka no matter what. Fox first pickup, Rona pickup. Anything surprising so far?
I'm surprised Krull made it through 2 bans and 3 picks.
That Kroll has not been picked up yet. Definitely a very dominant jungler, that's for sure. Rona is strong. Arden was picked up, so Zapa went ahead and picked up their first. Maybe that we could see it be that captain position. Arden just, that pick that everyone kind of is a go-to captain that's always really strong, can fit into a lot of compositions. We'll see, Feroxx here. I don't know if, Rona's already picked up that's really strong. I think we'll see maybe, like you already mentioned, that Cruel. And if not, it'll be interesting to see if that Cruel gets passed through the next bans.
Varia.
Okay, so the mid laner. I think Rona will probably be like a bot lane in this situation, or does it just depend on the matchups?
Yeah, she can still be flex top or jungle. I'm not sure. Bottom seems to be the favorite for higher tier teams, but
Mm. So we're gonna have the first ban coming through from Zappa here. Let's see, what the, Grumpjaw. Okay, so Grumpjaw still has been, a hero that teams have been picking up recently. Definitely a lot of proc coming out of the Grumpjaw. The Idris as well. Has there been more crystal or weapon power Idris? I feel like I still have been seeing both.
I see both, but definitely Crystal seems to be the more common. It's the one I prefer for sure. Uh, but maybe they don't like Varia into Idris, so they
Yeah,
decide to ban that away. And there's the crawl, all the way.
there's the
That's
crawl.
pretty deep in the draft.
Did make it through. We'll have to see what Ferox is gonna do to play against the crawl. I mean, it's not uh something that's just gonna swing the game immediately, but if they can pick the right, hero to counter it, then I'm sure they'll be able to handle it. Definitely handle that early game aggression. Early game aggression from Crawl, especially with the perk Cruel can invade and definitely secure some cans with the Churn Walker. Okay, out of all the captains, I guess Churn Walker is still strong, but I feel like Grace has picked up a lot as well.
Yeah, Churnwalker seems to be he's not doing well in public queues, but pro level high skill players
Yeah,
really can dominate with him. So
which I believe would be Chamu. I think he's the one that should be playing captain, if I do remember correctly. He's been around playing a lot of different heroes. The Baptiste. So Baptiste, I've seen people play Crystal and Weapon both still. Both are interesting and definitely have their specific build paths and team comps in which they work with. So that'll be interesting to see what that Baptiste, what route it does go. I have seen a lot of people play, at least in my level. That's not saying much, but some Crystal Baptiste top lane. The Celeste picked up. So that Celeste maybe in that mid lane against that Varia. How do you like that matchup?
it's pretty mixed. Varia might have a slight edge, but I've had that matchup go both ways personally. As far as it's probably who is the higher skilled player.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like if
and,
Celeste can hit those core collapses.
yeah, and level 1 to 8, before Celeste gets overdriven, then maybe you lean to Varia, and then once Celeste has that range advantage,
Yeah,
compared to Varia's basic attacks.
true. We're going to see the last round of bans coming through. Of course, the new ban system is the 3 bans in total, with the 2 picks in between. So with the last pickup on each team, they have 1 pickup to end the draft. So we're going to see who is next to ban away. As we look over at Zappa, they have maybe that captain position locked up. So trying to secure maybe a bot laner. So but Blackfeather is taken away, is one of those heroes that can be definitely a tanky And maybe like a bot laner that can definitely, or even top, just depends, and handle its own. We're going to see if, Zappa. I'm trying to think who else is a strong hero right now that's still out there.
Alpha, but I don't see that being a pick for Feroxx. He's got Kestrel. Kestrel's
Hmm.
strong but selectively strong. She she basically relies on building no defense and doing insane damage. But if you catch her, she's not good at supremely good at positioning.
Yeah.
But the Black Feather ban I find interesting because they don't really have any heroes that are countered by Black Feather. But
Wonder what a
Tony.
Ringo would look like. Oh, they're going to do Tony. Okay.
So this,
Interesting.
I'm not sure where they're gonna run that, but I would guess top lane. Well, actually, I guess jungle with a top lane Batiste.
Top lane Baptiste. Yeah. Probably
Yeah,
Crystal Path, I would say.
yeah, because Tony doesn't have a crystal path, and Rona is very niche crystal path.
So now with the
Aj,
Adagio picked up the end, is that going to mean maybe this Arden will be flex somewhere else, or was the Adagio really going to be like a Crystal Path as well? That's just strange with the Celeste.
yeah, well, you probably have a. I would say their team. They're gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna get the players in the game, but I say they're gonna go weapon Vox bot lane and
Mm-hmm.
weapon Krull jungle,
Yeah. Okay.
and then the Crystal Adagio top lane probably. We'll see.
Crystal Adagio.
Yeah,
Still
I've seen it
really strong.
be okay. I wouldn't say it's great, but early game they
Right.
can at least sustain a bit in the lane and survive. All right, let's see if we can get into the match.
All right, everyone hanging out in chat. I hope you guys are excited. This is a best of one. There are other matches going on the other channels as well. So we're going to have a few matches tonight. So this is the first match on this channel. We are getting captains ready. We're about to hop onto the rise for this Team Feroxx versus Zapa eSports team comps overall. Zappa's is definitely interesting. They have the crew, which I like is strong, but I'm going to be more interested to see, how this Tony matches up with the rest of Team Feroxx, since I haven't personally seen Tony really that much in the high competitive. So I'll be interested to see how Team Feroxx runs this, and, how kind of Tony meshes with the rest of the team. Because stun wise, I mean, you have the Baptiste ordained, and maybe the ultimate coming out of the Churnwalker, but for the most part, Tony may be, offering a lot of CC on the team.
Yeah, and he, if they do take him in jungle, he's great for early game uh, ganks on lanes because of that. Stun. He has a stun and the taunt.
The time, yeah. Yes, we're going to have to see Jury on the Rona. Suki, of course, another player that some of you may recognize if you have watched a lot of NACL in the past. Rock Bomber is going to be on the Tony. Rock is not someone I am that well aware of, so I'm interested to see him play that. Also, we're going to see, the Adagio along with this, Celeste, who's going to go where in this combo for the side of Zappa, but we are on the rise for this best of one. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see. I know a big thing that's been the kind of question is just rotations and how teams rotate early on. I know that could be pretty much a pretty big deciding factor in some of these matchups.
Looks like they could be going for an invade with 4 of them in the lane bush here.
Celeste has a nice little perk to allow some vision with those, the stars on the map. They're able to spot them out, maybe try to bully them out to get this crystal buff when it does appear. Doesn't appear for, it's about halfway until it's up. So they have some time to maybe get poked down. But Keegan needs to be careful. You don't need to have, all three, members get stuck out. Do you see them start to pick up the crystal treant? Meanwhile, on the other side, it looks like Daniel, he is on that curl, going to try to pick up their crystal. Rock is going to try to get a little sneaky here and hopefully steal it away. He does come through, and he does not secure it. The smite does come through and pick it up. Unfortunately, Rock did not time that. He almost had it. So they're going to go ahead and looks like all reset and continue jungling. But, Feroxx did a decent job of, even counter jungling, picking up the healing tree on the side of Zappa and going to rotate down to continue on. Sharing the jungle, really important to get that extra gold across the board and make sure, you're not really wasting a healing tree. If you don't really need the heal, have someone else rotate down with you and help you, farm it up and get that extra gold.
Yeah, this rotation is interesting. They're close to a minute behind because they invaded and then went and took their. So the Rona is just about to get back to lane for the first time, and it's 2 minutes into the game.
Right as the lane is about to be pushed to the turret. We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that to CS of Jury later on in the game. Keegan, he's dropping really low though. Suki and Shamu, they've been putting the damage down. So we're gonna have to see if he's gonna back here. So maybe fall behind a little bit in the mid lane. Suki continues farming up. But so far, not too many action when it comes to players scrimming off. A lot of farming going on in this early stage.
I'm noticing it looks like Batiste is going weapon and jungling. Unless I'm really not sure where they're what
we do see a little engage in the top though.
the gank.
Unfortunately, Rock with the little taunt there was able to lock him down. The Baptiste and the Tony were able to get the first blood. Looks like Tony has that Book of Eulogy, so maybe he's going to go top lane there, and we may see Moss on that, weapon power Baptiste jungling.
Yes, or they. Tony has basically no ratios in CP except for his ultimate, his Bada Boom. And
I don't know about the crystal power.
I don't think it could be that they're going to run triple weapon.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be Suki staying out of team fights, staying in the correct positioning, and just putting out a lot of damage with that crystal path. We're going to have to see if Suki's able to pull it off. Suki, though, does get in a little scrimmage here with Daniel and Keegan. He's dropping actually pretty low. Daniel tries to switch over to Suki. Suki's dropping really low. He pops the healing flash to stay alive. Keegan, though, Keegan is trying to boot out himself. Gets stunned up, it looked like. I don't know if he actually got stunned there, or maybe it was from the Ordained from the Baptiste. But we have a quick 5-0 lead, 4 minutes in. And, right now, Feroxx is definitely pushing out the lanes and continue to try to look for some farm right now.
Yeah, you can you can see they're starting to accumulate a gold lead already too. At 4 minutes, it's up to 2K, and they're invading in the jungle as well.
Now this matchup in the bot with Jury and Lady, I mean, is Lady going to have a problem at a certain point if Jury starts getting some items on top of Lady?
The Adagio, I mean, yes. That's been Rona is pretty much one of the strongest heroes in the game right now. But they didn't give the buff over to her, to Rona, so she's not easily able to make a play against an Adagio who can just use her
Right.
heal on herself and slow them.
Man, right now, Baptiste is going in. He's trying to drop the Arden. He does finally drop him. Rock's dropping really low, though. He pops the healing flash. He's trying to get. He does not. The rotation out of Suki was perfect. They go ahead and drop 2 more. 9-1 lead right now. The Vox was trying to do his best. All it has right now is the Poison Shiv. So he was trying to, nothing really stacking breaking point wise. So he did end up falling. 9-1 lead right now. Team Feroxx are trying to push the mid lane. We're trying to push the top lane. It looks like they maybe are quite going to get it. We're going to see if Vox does get there in time. Ghostwing is here 6 minutes in. So we're going to see the new rotations coming out of the teams and, when Feroxx is going to try to put that pressure on Ghostwing. Oh, we see Jury going in on Lady in the bot lane. The bottom turret has been destroyed. Jury's doing a lot of damage to the Lady, so Lady needs to be careful in some of these, engages. Rich is here to try to, keep Lady safe, but I don't think Jury's going to be too worried about the Arden. It's not going to stop Jury from going on the Lady. He jumps back in. Look at the damage, 312, almost immediately dropped. The fountain is popped just for the one here to keep him alive. Here comes the Baptiste, gets the Ordained out. The stun comes through, and there goes Lady. Looks like Rich is going to go down as well. Solar Storm definitely missed Jury. Look at Jury just putting the pressure.
The rotations and advantage right now is just huge. They've Jury there was level 7, and Adagio was 5, and Arden was 4. At that point, he can basically 1v2 them. They're starting to accumulate, what is it, up to 5k gold lead already.
Yeah, they are taking Suki. He took another crystal buff. The capturing of Ghostwing right now is going to be huge to get that buff through for the team. And, team fights from here are going to be a little easier, especially if they pick the right fights. If they're ahead, try to target and, catch out one person able to I can assume Suki right now is going to be able to be doing a lot of damage once these next items come through. It's just the alternating current right now. The Celeste did pick up the Dragon's Eye. So if Celeste can stay alive, then Celeste will be able to do a good damage. We see Rock in the top. Wait a minute. Copy. Do we see Aftershock coming in on Rock right now?
Yeah, I noticed he had the Storm Crown, so he's building that tank top laner build.
Yeah.
So basically, his damage is gonna rely on the procs, and his base damage.
Right.
But that might be enough. The way it's going right now, that might be plenty.
Yeah, we're at 16 kills. They're going to be able to continue the snowball. Things can get a little snowballish in 5v5, especially if you, like you already mentioned, when you have the level advantage and you can just get the perfect rotations down to just push someone out of lane over and over. It can be pretty difficult, but I'm interested to see, this kind of utility type. He got another kill on Vox immediately. Vox returned to lane, and then, granted, Shamu was there to help, but Rock was just doing enough damage. Does he have a weapon? Just a weapon buff? It looks like he just had the weapon orb.
Yeah, he got the weapon orb, and Vox could not kite away from him at that point with his stun and his taunt.
Yeah, he can be pretty sticky as, the taunt, using his A ability to kind of boost himself onto someone. So he definitely can say he does get himself maybe a little trouble here. Here comes the Vox back doing a lot of damage. He just uses the ultimate over the wall to get to safety. Daniel's going to try to pursue, but I think he should be good with his roam right there. Suki, meanwhile, he's just going to take the whole jungle. He could find Daniel here, but I think Rox is going to back out and reset. I don't think Baptiste has any fear right now. He's just diving in under Riches and Lady. He gets a kill. The turret was even aggro on him. Moss, he is doing some damage right now on this weapon power. He's got the breaking point. Here comes a giant gauntlet. It gets stunned out. Uh-oh, my game froze. Rip. Oh, yeah, it caught up. I was like, did this get stunned out? But, my game happened to freeze. But the fountain comes through. Here comes a giant solar storm. It does take down Baptiste finally. Meanwhile, we're going to see the stun come through. Suki does rotate, though. He's going to be doing a lot of damage. He's going to be able to save. Now, the healing from the chains weren't enough. Suki finds himself in a little bit of trouble. He boots in Healing Flask. Maybe a little bit of a nice, an engage there. Maybe a little overstay on the part of Feroxx. I don't know if it was necessarily better plays from the side of Zapa, but Zapa getting some kills for himself. But here comes a runner, rotates down. Daniel's going to fall. Here comes Riches dropping super low as well. Rock, I don't know. What is this utility build? He's just Aftershock. The procs are actually doing a lot of damage. Lady's going to find herself locked down. The Adagio falls. And we're going to see 4 members in the bot lane going to push this out. That was kind of a messy, exchange overall. Some members fell, but the death timers, they were back up and back in the fight before it ended.
Yeah, it's full on snowball. They lost someone. they lost a Churnwalker, and he's basically returned to the fight before it was over because they chased them so far.
Yeah, this is what we've seen a couple times already in the NAC early on. We're at 11 minutes in. They're all in their base. If they can just get a couple more kills here, they could stick around and just try to win it. Baptiste is really low, though. Rock is trying to maybe distract him. He just falls. Suki's low, and so is Jury. But we're going to see the Arden just try to literally distract him. Arden does fall. Daniel, he's trying to drop Jury. Jury's just trying to spin to stay alive. Daniel just needs to focus on someone and get the stacks up. The healing flash does pop through from Rock. Suki, meanwhile, is just farming and holding the wave. Hero is finally killed. The Crawl is dropped. Unfortunately, Crawl is just struggling 0-5 right now. Not really able to go anywhere in his jungle or have any type of ganks to put pressure on the other members. He's the one that is just getting all the pressure put upon him.
Yeah, Crawl, well, he can be really strong once he gets behind. I think the amount of CC he's dealing with, and much less the Churnwalker that he's trying to go through, has really stopped him from having a chance of having a large impact.
Right.
But it's really hard to say if, at this point, hero strength isn't that important because of the lead they have. It's
yeah.
It's a matter of, can they close the game out without making any overstays or
right, which Rock
major
just
errors.
Yeah, he just kind of find himself caught out there. He was literally trying to 1v3, then 1v4, and I mean he was doing some damage, but Rock is 9-1 on this utility aftershock. Tony, it's a really interesting build, really interesting idea, and it kind of has been working out for them. But we're seeing just tons of damage coming out of Suki and Moss on the Baptiste, even Jury. Only 4 kills, but a lot of assists, a lot of kill participation, and so far that's pretty much. I feel like the main story is that Feroxx is just kind of grouping up and definitely fighting together throughout most of this match. 13 minutes in, 30 kills. They just need to pick the right fights. They just do pick up one on box that I missed. You see, the lady was trying to help. The sun does come through, though. It's not blocked out. Maybe they'll be able to Kai Outreach is here to try to help. But, 4 members here. Here comes Sugar over the wall. Arden's going to fall. All 5 members that they play. It's a 4-man stun, though. The Celeste. Keegan with a nice stun. It's not going to matter at the end, but at least he slowed it down a little bit. Here comes a giant ultimate out of Shamut, and then we're going to see them all fall, and the crystal is being focused. The crystal is being dropped. The fountain is popped on top of it. The minions are here, and that is just game 1350 in the match. And Feroxx definitely showed that they had the synergy and focused on team fights, and just definitely played together throughout that game.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to analyze except they got the snowball rolling and they finished them off. I mean, 15K gold lead in 14 minutes. They
turned into an avalanche pretty fast.
Yep, and that can happen in 5v5. That's just the reality. If you if you aren't on time and you start giving your jungle up to the enemy, which we saw, Suki took their crystal buff, probably every time. He was on that. He was on that rotation. He knew the timing, or you can tell if you took the camp when it spawns, and he went back and just. I mean, that alone is huge for the course of a game. He had a 2K gold lead over the Celeste.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the pro scene even higher and higher once we get to VPL. What some of these teams do to try to stall out a snowball, just to try to figure out how to stop that. I mean, to a certain point you can't, but I feel like there has to be some type of strategy to do something to survive.
Yeah, and that's kind of, you see that tanky top laner meta that's started happening. That's kind of a result of trying to survive top lane.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where we're at right now. So basically, their weapon carry was totally shut down on top lane by Tony. Which is interesting. I don't know if I've seen Tony in that role. Normally it's Taka or Alpha, maybe even Ozo with that build. Tony is. This might be the first time I've seen that. But
Yeah.
the snowball rules the meta right now. It's just the reality. These teams could be very closely matched, and once the snowball starts, you can never see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even in the very high level games, this happens.
Yeah, well, GG to both teams. Team Feroxx does take the win.